Good morning, my dear students. You know we are also select our very important topics for our JSC exam. Here's the JSC exam. We also select. In the previous class, we also know chapter 4, the reproduction in plants. Here's the reproduction in plants. We also start first structure, basically the unisexual reproduction and the asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Here's the asexual reproduction. We also know the formation of spores, vegetative reproduction, segmentation through root and modified stem, tuber, etc. etc. And today I have also select very important topics. Basically it's also the it's also very important topics. You know, first structure is the artificial vegetative reproduction and second is the sexual reproduction. Here's the artificial vegetative reproduction. We also know the I also write first structure is the grafting and second is the cutting. Here's also the grafting. Now, artificial vegetative reproduction. You have seen the grafting of good variety of mango, orange, lemon, guava, etc. Can you say why we do grafting? Plants produced from seeds sometimes show less productivity and inferior quality. In these plants, artificial vegetative reproduction is a useful tool to restore the parental quality. Let us know about the artificial vegetative reproduction and the propagation. First structure is the grafting. The process by which a straight, young and fresh stem develops root and thus enables the stem to live individually is known as grafting. I also draw this structure. What's the meaning of the grafting? Here I also select the fresh and young stem and I also cutting the little layer. Yes, I also little layer, then I also produce the cow dung and also the etc. Again, I also repeat what's the meaning of the grafting. A cut is made in the bark of the stem. Here I also cut the bark of the stem and where roots to be developed. Now, the cut is to be covered by soil and cow dung and finally with the help of cellophane tape or the polythene to protect the fall of soil and cow dung. This part of the stem should be kept moist by regular watering. If kept in this condition, root will grow in a couple of days. The stem with roots separated from mother plant grows into new plant after planting. Yes, then when it's also grow the roots, then I also cutting this structure and I also produce the another structure and also the soil. It's the very important is the grafting. Another is the cutting. What's the meaning of the cutting? You have observed that stem cuttings of rose, if put into moist soil, grows new leaves after a few days. Each stem of this kind grows into a new rose tree. My dear students, in this I also finished the asexual reproduction. Here's the asexual reproduction. We also know the vegetative reproduction and the artificial vegetative reproduction. Now our next topic is the lesson 4. Here's the lesson 4. I have also selected the sexual reproduction. Very important topics, my dear students. Now, what's the meaning of the sexual reproduction? Fruit grows from flowers and seed from fruits. Seed gives rise to the next generation. A flowering plant produces offspring through sexual reproduction. So, flower is an important organ of plant. Now, the flower, the main structure and main sample of the sexual reproduction. Flower. There are many flowers blooming near your school and house. First, you take some flowers among it and observe carefully. Have you seen total 5 parts in every flower? Yes, I also draw basically the 5 parts in the flower. First structure is the petal. This structure is the petal and also the colorful structure. Second is the stamen and it's also the another structure of the androecium. Third structure is the carpel. It's also the very important structure of gynoecium. And this structure is the sepal. Basically, it's also the green type structure, and the receptacle, the another structure of the receptacle. It's also the green structure, green type structure. Now, the different parts of a typical flower, I have also draw this structure. Please everyone practice in your home this type structure. Again, flower. The parts are receptacle, calyx, petal, stamen. Basically, stamen is the another parts is the androecium, and the carpel is also the gynoecium. If you get all those parts, then the flowers are known as typical flower or complete flower. Yes, if any flowers, they have also the 5 parts and the 5 structure of the flowers, it's also the typical flower or the complete flower. And you do not get 1 or 2 parts, then the flowers are known as incomplete flower. Some flowers may have extra part under the calyx, such as China rose, jova. This extra part is called apicalyx. Some flowers may or may not have stalks, the pedicle. Basically, flowers with a stalk is known as stalked, and without stalk is known as unstalked flower. Now, our important parts for the JSC exam. Different parts of a flower. Here's the different parts of a flower. First, we have also select is also the sepal. Basically, this structure and also the green type structure is the another name is the sepal. Here's the sepal. In many flowers, there in an outermost hole ring of sepals known collectively as the calyx. Sepals are usually green and look like small leaves. Sepals may be segmented or joined. They enclose and protect the central region of the flowers from sunlight, rains and insects when it is in the budding stage. Petals. What's the meaning of petals? I have also drawn this structure is the petals, my dear students. When we have also the very attractive structure and also the attractive and colorful parts, the another name is the petals. Now the petals. In most of the flowers, the reproductive organs are surrounded by a hole of petal. Petals are known collectively as the corolla of the flower. Petals may be joined as in dhutura or remain separated. Example, China rose. Some flowers have different colored and scented petals. Petals of this type attract insects which come to collect the nectar and by doing so transfer pollens from flowers to flowers. This is second hole of the flower. Now the stamens. What's the meaning of the stamens? Yes, when I have just drawn basically this structure, where is the pollen structure? It's also the another name is the stamen. Stamen. Surrounding the gynoecium is a hole of stamens. Stamens are known collectively as androecium. These are the male reproductive organs. A stamen consists of a stalk, filament, bearing an anther. Each anther is made up of 4 pollen sacs in which pollen grains are formed. Here, when I am also cutting this structure, then this structure is the basically this type of structure. It's also the 4 types of the pollen sac. Again, the pollen sac. Pollen grains contain the male gametes. They take part in reproduction directly. This is third hole of the flower. Now, next structure is the carpels. What's the meaning of the carpels? Here, my dear students, I have also drawn basically this structure. It's also the gynoecium structure. The another part is the carpel. Here, my dear students, I have also this structure is the stigma. Again, this structure is stigma and this structure is style, and when I have drawn this structure, it's also the another name is the ovary. Yes. Again, carpels. The gynoecium is at the center of a flower. A gynoecium may be structured with one or more carpels. When a gynoecium is formed with many more carpels, which are completely merged with each other, then it is called syncarpus. And when they are separated, it is called polycarpus. The gynoecium is typically made up of an ovary, style and stigma as in the center of flower. One or more ovules are in a flower arranged inside the ovary. Within the ovule, the female reproductive cell ovum is produced. This ovum, like an androecium, is directly involved in the process of reproduction. Sepal and petals are known as the accessory whole pole. The stamens and carpels are known as essential whole of a flower. Again, I also repeat, basically sepal and petals. Here's the sepal and petals is also the basically accessory whole, and also the gynoecium and androecium is the main whole of a flower. My dear students, I think today basically this structure is the very meaningful and very important topics for your exam. Please everyone learn these topics very carefully and attentively. I hope everyone understand this class maybe. And again I also repeat, basically I have also learned basically lesson 3 to 4. Here's the 3 to 4. I have also explained about the first is the artificial vegetative reproduction. Here's I also explain the grafting and cutting, and the next structure is the very important structure, basically sexual reproduction. Yes, we also know the complete flowers and incomplete flower. Hope everyone should try to understand. Thank you, my dear students. Goodbye.